Welcome back to Project 94 for another Diecast review here on the channel. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Kyle Busch and his 2023 Cheddars Patriotic Chevrolet Camaro number 8 for Richard Childress Racing. And this is a really cool car that ran at the Coke 6... Wait, no, it didn't run the Coke 600. It ran another race. I believe this car ran at, what, Nashville? And maybe another track, but this car never ran the Coca-Cola 600. They actually ran the black and green Osco car, which is a very confusing marketing choice by Richard Childress Racing and their sponsors. But nonetheless, this car got to run in the season anyways. But other than that, this is a really cool patriotic paint scheme for Kyle Busch. Of course, it's very different than the M&M's patriotic cars. Those cars had a base of white, and one time it had a base of light blue. But now the car is a full-on dark blue with the patriotic details on top. Decals of the patriotic stuff, like the stars, the flag, the stripes. Even got some gradient on this car. So we're in for an interesting review here on this Kyle Busch paint scheme. So here we go, guys. Let's get this one out of the box. And of course, shout out to Simon Toyo Sports, the #1 Kyle Busch fan. Probably looking forward to this diecast review as we speak. So here it is out of the box, and wham, the camera went straight to focus. And of course, this thing was put together not very well. As you can see, it's kind of falling apart here. It's a little unfortunate. But nonetheless, here is the diecast out of the box, and we're going to get straight to the review, guys. So here's the front of this car. You got number 8, RCR. Come on, camera. I know you could look better than this. See if we can try to get it to look better. There we go. Got number 8, RCR. Of course, Chevrolet Camaro ZL1, which is going to be changing in a couple of years. You got Cheddars Scratch Kitchen, established in 1979. Of course, you have the hood vents right there. The gold Chevy bow tie. And of course, Kyle Busch's last name. You have Sunoco, you have Goodyear in white on the wheel wells, but of course on the wheels they're yellow with the dark gray rims. Seems like that's a common theme with a lot of these. Of course, you have the NASCAR Cup Series, the 75th anniversary logo, and is it me or the outline of those decals don't look right? Why do they have like this weird like outline to it? You see like there's like this weird looking, I'm not sure what that is. If it's accurate to the real car, then yeah, it's good, but if not, You have number 8 right there, and of course you got a huge chip right there. Wow, that is a big one, folks. Here it is. Bam! Right there over the D in Cheddars. Yeah, guys, that's what you're paying $11 for nowadays. You got number 8. You have Rowdy. You have Chevrolet. You have Lucas Oil. You have Sherwin-Williams, PTC, and is this thing on the PTC mold? No, it's not, but it's definitely PTC mold-like in quality. I can't even read that logo underneath the PTC. I have to flip it to this side. Is it Cometic? And then KCMG. God, I can't even read it at this point. Of course, you got BetMGM somehow got on here without a base. Of course, you have Osco uniforms, Cheddars. Of course, I was going to read Cheddars before I was rudely interrupted by that paint chip. You have 3 race winner stickers. You have net spend. On the back of this thing, you have Chevrolet, of course, Okuma, Cheddar Scratch Kitchen, and then Kids Eat for Free, it looks like. I really cannot read that. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I cannot read that logo. That is really small for me. You have Camaro on the back bumper right there. No rear view camera on this thing, just a Chevy logo. On the deck lid, you have Cheddar Scratch Kitchen and a whole bunch of names on the deck lid, which I cannot read on a 164 because it's too small. On the top, you have Busch and Cheddars.com. And now it's time for the paint scheme itself. It's a really dark navy blue. That's the color they spray painted the car before they put all the decals. You have black spoiler, black roof rails, and of course the black splitter in the front. And the number, of course, got the iconic number 8. You have the black outline, a red outline, a white number fill-in with some silver accents on it. As you guys can see. It's going to be like this on the whole paint scheme. And now for the actual scheme itself, it's going to start out in the front with 2 red stripes and 2 white stripes. Of course, it's going to start at the bottom with the white stripes. And of course, it's going to wrap neatly around the OEM details, just in a straight pattern. It's not all like janky and like pointy or anything. It's just normal striping. And those stripes are going to continue past the front wheel well and fade into a gradient, as you can see. And if you look at the top portion of this car on the nose, and kind of cutting into the design itself, you're going to have a pattern of croissants and stars, which are as a gradient finish. Of course, you could see it's sort of fading at the corners, but towards the middle, it's more visible. And on the front nose, it's more visible as well. You can see a star here, and a whole bunch of the other, the rest of the pattern. But of course, instead of having a croissant right in the middle, because they ran out of space, 2 stars, boom, boom, and the rest of it's the normal pattern of the croissants and the stripe and the stars. Okay, so you saw that gradient fade on the front. Now we're going to have a giant stripe right there, the red and white stripe pattern, huge on the side. Of course, it's going to wrap over the hips on the car as well. So you can see white, red, white, red, white, red. Of course, the biofuel logo. It's going to swoop down the side, and it's going to have the Cheddars logo right on top, and it looks to be straight. What's interesting is, before the gradient, if you look towards the back, it cuts off, like, so you have like a red stripe coming through here, and then a red stripe coming through here, but the entire quarter panel is blue right here. Kind of interesting way of detailing this car. It's kind of like they did free draw with the stripes. Of course, the gradient fades underneath the 8, and on the top of the 8 towards the side. Looks interesting. I like how it made a perfect amount of room to fit the 8 between these 2 faded areas of the stripes, which looks super cool. And really, there's not much else going on the doors of this car, anywhere on the side. It's mainly that detail. And on the back, you're going to have the gradient pattern again with the croissants and the stars. It's more visible towards the bottom. It kind of slowly fades as a gradient towards the bottom. And of course, on the deck lid, just the names. And on the roof, the pattern that was on the hood and the back is now back on the top. No gradient fade or nothing. It's all one full shade of that light blue, like that baby blue, sort of. That's just kind of the way the gradient fade made it look like. So as you can see, what I like about it is, as you can see with the gradients, the opacity difference. You could tell like it's sort of fading in some areas and it's more visible. Like it goes from being that baby blue color and then the opacity just kind of fades. That's what I like about gradients. It really adds more detail to it. It just makes it more depthy looking. And that's just the reason why I like this scheme so much. Now, hopefully this car comes back next year and actually runs the Coke 600, because it never did, which is really unfortunate. I really wish I would have loved to see this car in person. And a way you could tell if a car ran in the Coke 600 or not, it should have the Honor and Remember on the wheels, which this does not. And of course, it should have the banner of a person's name, of a fallen veteran's name. That's not on here. Although, to be fair, the Blaney Coke 600 normal diecast didn't have that because it was released so early, but it ended up running the race anyways, but that's like the lone exception. But yeah, this car did not run the Coke 600, which is so unfortunate, because this would have been one of the best cars at the show. And let me tell you, this thing really shows up with that red, white, and blue. So with the 360 view here, I honestly think for the new era of Kyle Busch diecast at RCR, this is definitely a great way to start the patriotic side of things. It looks really fantastic, and I believe the Reddick car was this same paint scheme, except with his number font and his sponsors. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a very familiar looking paint scheme to me. But because it's Kyle Busch, that's the only reason this got released. If this was still Tyler Reddick, this car would have never been made. I can guarantee you that. And I gotta say, beautiful looking patriotic paint scheme right there. I gotta say, this is probably one of my favorites of the Chevy group. It looks fantastic. It's just really, really detailed. And man, that paint chip right there is gonna bug me for life. But, well, that's gonna be it for this diecast review. So, comment, like, and subscribe. Tell us what you guys think about this diecast. This is a good patriotic paint scheme for Kyle Busch. I'd like to know from you guys. So, thank you all for checking out this diecast review. Comment, like, and subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next diecast review here on the channel. And always remember to make sure you know what you're doing when you're putting decals on your diecasts.